Welcome back, guys, to the Crypto for Photographers series, where I educate you photographers about the wonders of crypto, because I do not want my community being left behind. Because in a few years' time, I don't want any of you guys to be like, oh, if only I had listened to Zain. However, in today's episode, we'll be talking about the Achilles heel in crypto's armor. Is crypto and the environment. Roll intro. I've teamed up with MetaPurse and Naz Academy to bring you Crypto for Photographers, a series where I educate you photographers about crypto and how it's taking on the establishment and bringing power back to the people. That's because we want you to make money with crypto and NFTs. Is it too late to get involved? Absolutely not. For all the great things that crypto and Bitcoin does for society, it creates a true store of wealth. Decentralization offers universal access to anyone, regardless of social class and gender, a true hedge against inflation. Crypto and the blockchain offers smart contracts, which in turn offers financial services that were once only reserved for the privileged minority. We in the West and the developed world take so many things for granted. We really don't understand how easy we have it. For example, we don't have to worry about things like hyperinflation, at least not yet, because there are countries right now, today, as we speak, that are suffering from hyperinflation. For example, in Lebanon and in Venezuela. The Lebanese and the Venezuelan people have no idea how much a loaf of bread will cost even next week, because they are going through hyperinflation. And Bitcoin and crypto in general solves these problems. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, I don't need to worry about hyperinflation. Well, we are going through inflation, and inflation is just hyperinflation in slow motion. We also take for granted the fact that we can pay our bills with our phones because we have things like mobile banking. But there are actually billions of people on Earth today who don't have access to banks. Here in the UK, there are literally tens of thousands of people who don't have bank accounts because they are homeless. If you are homeless, you don't have an address. If you don't have an address, you can't open a bank account. If you can't open a bank account, you can't receive financial help from the government. Do you see how this is an issue? Crypto and Bitcoin solves these problems because all you need is a phone and an internet connection. So despite the fact that Bitcoin and crypto solves these problems, along with a whole bunch of other societal problems, the one issue that everyone focuses on and zones in on and sort of obsesses over is the issue of the environment. The story goes that Bitcoin mining in particular consumes an unholy amount of energy and therefore contributes to climate change, and basically Bitcoin mining is going to set the world on fire and is solely to blame. Is this true? Absolutely. Bitcoin mining does consume a lot of energy, that is without a doubt. You'll often see this stat from Cambridge University that in 1 year, Bitcoin mining consumes 147 terawatts of energy. And you'll also see this figure over here showing that Bitcoin mining consumes more energy than the whole of Argentina. Whew! Yeah, pretty scary. However, some vital context is missing here. It's estimated that the world consumes 25,000 terawatts of energy. And if we go by that figure, that means Bitcoin consumes less than 0.5% of that. Do you understand how minuscule that is? It's almost negligible. In order to really make a fair evaluation on Bitcoin's energy consumption, you have to ask this question. Bitcoin mining and crypto in general consumes a lot of energy in comparison to what? It's no good just taking a stat out of context. You need to compare it to something else to really understand its relative significance. Because if large consumption of energy is the only reason why something shouldn't be done, my goodness, there's literally nothing we can do. Your washing machine, that uses a ton of energy. Your TV, sorry, that's got to go. all the lights in your house, that's got to go as well. So maybe that's not a fair comparison. Bitcoin is often described as a digital gold. Let's compare it to gold then, to real gold, to physical gold. How much energy does gold mining consume? How damaging is physical gold to the environment? You know where I'm going with this. In short, gold mining is far more destructive to the environment than actual Bitcoin mining is. It consumes 157 terawatts of energy a year, not to mention the destruction to the land, the poisoning of the water, because you need to use all sorts of chemicals to process the gold, the gold ore. The human rights abuses, the people who get exploited in order to mine the gold, not to mention the threat to natural habitats and the threat to natural animal species. Like, the list goes on and on. But does gold mining get a bad rap? No, it doesn't. Another extremely important issue that you have to remember is that energy consumption does not equate to carbon emission. So how much carbon does Bitcoin mining actually produce? And the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin contributes 0.13% of the world's total carbon emissions, all whilst empowering the masses like never before. The mainstream media seems to conveniently miss out on the fact that most of these Bitcoin mining farms, a lot of them run on renewable energy. When was the last time you saw a bank running purely on geothermal energy? On top of that, most blockchains don't run on proof of work, which is what Bitcoin runs on. It runs on proof of stake, and proof of stake consumes far less energy than proof of work. So why does it get such a bad rap if it is in fact really green in comparison to the traditional banking finance sector? It's obvious that this is simply just another attack from old traditional money. You need to understand that old money, old institutions, central banks, big banks, the established banks hate crypto. They absolutely hate crypto because crypto is a genuine threat to the status quo. Of course, they'll do anything and everything to keep their grip on power. Elrond has become the first carbon negative European blockchain. When was the last time that you heard about a banking system, a bank, a big multinational bank like HSBC, Bank of America, really investing in green technology or becoming carbon negative? One of the biggest ways that banks make money is by investing your savings, right? A lot of the technologies and things that big banks invest in is oil. Like, just put this into perspective. We've had the traditional and banking finance system for hundreds of years, and they've done fuck all to become greener. Despite decades of scientists telling governments and corporations that we need to do something about climate change, and they've still done fuck all. In the blink of an eye, that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general have been around. They're doing things like this. Like, Elrond is still, is less than 10 years old. In that tiny amount of time that they've been around, they're already carbon negative. This is what I mean about crypto becoming greener and greener by the day, because there is real incentive. They are taking real actions to solve problems that are here today. That problems that the traditional way, the traditional system just has done fuck all to solve. Everything, good and bad, will consume energy. We need to choose wisely as to which things we support and which things we expend our energy on. So let me ask you this. Do you choose to support the outdated financial system that's controlled by Wall Street, that cyclically creates financial recessions to benefit themselves and then gets bailed out by the government, whilst the working man is left with crippling debt? Or do you support the new financial system that's harnessing cutting-edge technology that gives power and control of money back to the masses, all whilst incentivizing green energy adoption? Crypto is still in its infancy. Crypto is getting greener by the day. Before, it was all proof of work, which was the energy intensive consensus algorithm, but now it's all proof of stake, which is far, far greener because it consumes far, far less energy. It will only continue to get greener and greener. So please, if anyone says to you that crypto is bad for the environment, please show them this video and tell them to shut the fuck up. All right guys, I hope you're enjoying this series. Subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Follow me on Instagram at Zain so you are up to date with everything. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.